Hey guys, it's Alla. I'm in Latvia. It's summertime, but it's cold. I'm wearing a hoodie. This is not even my hoodie, it's my sister's hoodie, but don't tell her. She's not here. Anyway, I haven't done a vlog in a while, and I thought I'm gonna do this vlog about the blood work comparison that I did last year and carnivore diet and what result I actually had on carnivore diet. I'm just going to kind of dig into it straight away because basically when I first heard about carnivore diet, I was actually doing juicing, like raw juicing for 2 weeks. And then I was trying all sorts of cleansing and fasting and everything. And then I met my friend and he was like, try the carnivore diet. And at first I didn't know what it was. And it seemed a really bizarre thing to me, especially because I had bloating, inflammation, and I was in a really, really bad place last year comparing to where I am now, of course, with my bloat. You've seen my journey throughout the videos. And I mean, if you're new to this video, you can have a look how badly my stomach was inflating. Anyway, it took me about, I would say, 6 months to get comfortable with the idea. That's why I'm never gonna, when people ask me, what works for you, and generally carnivore has been the only thing that actually has worked for me, in a sense of me not feeling as bloated, feeling better, light, some more energy, and like all the other benefits that I had. But I'm still a bit of a geek and skeptic, and so I wasn't like 100% convinced. And then when I actually was convinced, I did. I went fully into it. I was a very strict carnivore for 3 months, and then I think I started adding other foods into it to see if I'm gonna have any allergies. So I was probably been doing carnivore now for 6 months, and it's still ongoing. I had a couple of weeks where I messed up. Not that I messed up, I just started eating whatever. And straight away I started noticing like allergies, like reactions in my nose, in my eyes. And again, as soon as I eliminate all the other stuff, and I've been back on full carnivore for the 3rd day now, no allergies, nothing, no stuffy nose. So I definitely realized that I think I have either allergy or reactions towards gluten. It can be either gluten or dairy. I'm not 100% yet convinced which one it is, but I think it's probably more gluten. Because every time I've had, back in Latvia, I'm having some buns and piroshkis and pancakes and whatnot. But anyway, the reason why I want to do this video, because first of all, I want to tell you about my blood work. If you're a bit of a geek like me and you like science, I'm very open-minded. Let me put it this way. I'm open-minded to lots of ideas. I'm always open-minded to try new things. I'm always going to try anything and everything to heal myself. So, I was a raw vegan at one point. Now I'm a full meat eater, like things change. And every decision that you make, whatever path you go, it's always the right path, right? Because you're on it and you believe in it. And as long as you believe in it, it either works, eventually maybe it doesn't. So you try a new path. And so for me, this was really, really important to see like my results with blood. It was really important for me to see and understand like have I actually improved via blood work, because if I haven't, then kind of I would be a bit more skeptical about the raw diet, carnivore diet, because then, okay, yeah, I do feel better, but it's not really that amazing like everybody was telling me. So I have right here on my laptop, over here, both comparisons. I've literally just made some notes. I went through it and I have massively improved in a lot of things. And the reason why I want to do this video as well, because I've been studying nutrition and all of this stuff about vitamins and all these names that seemed foreign to me before. Now I know it. And in case anyone is watching this video, and you don't feel good, or you don't, even if you're not bloated, but maybe you feel tired or whatever, I would highly recommend doing these blood tests, because they tell you so much. And again, I've paid for so many consultations, and now I'm kind of getting the picture why these things are important. And I didn't actually write it out, but I'm gonna kind of go through here. But one of the most important things that you need to get tested for, right, is your iron. Iron is literally so important. Then another thing is your vitamin D. Basically everybody, pretty much 90% of people are deficient in vitamin D. And so when I started doing this was even 2 years ago, when I did my vitamin D, I was at 10. So the measures for vitamin D are from 10 to 90. 10 is like a critical situation when your body is like in shock. When you don't have enough vitamin D, you just basically don't function. It's really, I don't know all the scientific things behind it because I'm not a nutritionist, but it's basically really bad. And nowadays we just don't get enough vitamin D. And guys, I lived in Mexico for over a year and I still don't have enough vitamin D. So I'm trying to tell you that this is so important. I guarantee you, if you've never checked your vitamin D, like, book an appointment right now and test everything I'm going to tell you. So vitamin D is really, really important. Then all your, especially for women, vitamin B, okay, B12, B6, the whole complex, because that is your beauty, your hair, your face, everything, right? How we function. Folic acid, that's where a lot of people are deficient, which is, again, really, really important. You can read up online why these things are important. I'm not gonna bore you with scientific things, plus I don't really know, I have to Google myself, but I've read them before. It's just I don't know from top of my head. So, and another thing is your ferritin level, which a lot of people don't test. Ferritin is literally so important. It's basically energy source in your body. If your ferritin is low, your whole body cannot get energy, which means it can't process, it can't do things. You know how we use energy for everything, sitting, talking, whatever. So these are like really, really important. I said your iron, ferritin, your, I forgot what's called in English, but hemoglobins. It's I'm gonna have to Google it, but it's also really important. Another thing that a lot of people don't test is your level of protein in your body, because a lot of us are protein deficient. And if you're protein deficient, again, there's a lot of issues. So the reason why I'm also telling you about this is because, you know, when I started having my bloating and issues, I started obviously doing a lot of tests, and that's how I discovered that I'm deficient here and there and there. And don't get me wrong, nothing is going to go wrong right now, like, because a lot of these markers as well, when they give you the doctors, like, it says you're in a range, but that's not really like, they basically tell you that because there's nothing dramatically going to happen right now. But if you're going to carry on like this in a month, in a year, you will get sick. And so when you get sick, that's when they treat you. So, you know, I realized that the idea here now is to prevent yourself from getting to the point where you get so sick that you can't, you know, it's already too late and you have to go on some serious medication, by knowing your, you know, basic things in your body, like your, you know, electrolytes, another thing, you know, your magnesium, your calcium, all of that stuff. By knowing where you are at the deficiencies, you can either supplement with, you know, natural supplements, or you can change your diet, you know, because a lot of the diet that I've changed has given me a lot of these vitamins, and I'm very happy about it. But the biggest thing for me, okay, so which I want to amplify again about vitamin D. So when I started 2 years ago, I was at 10. Then they told me that it was in a critical condition and I had to take the, you know, vitamin D supplements, which I did. And in a year's time, it went up to 25. So it took 1 year to go 15 decimals, okay? Which is literally so slow. And so this year, when I tested last year, I'm looking at it now, it's 24.90. So basically 25, which is still very, very low. It's deficiency, okay? And so they prescribed me very strong ones where you actually drink through your mouth, like the oily bits. And I was on top drinking 10,000 units of vitamin D, because a lot of you guys buy vitamin D, you don't look at how many units are on the packaging, because it just to maintain your vitamin D level, it should be around 2,000 to 3,000 units, okay? And if you're in a deficiency, you have to drink way more. So I'm drinking 10,000 units a day, plus I was living in Mexico where it's exposed to sun every day for over a year, plus taking really strong vitamin D capsules that they prescribed me. And guess what? It only went up by 25 units in a year. So now I'm at 50. And here they're saying that it's a good range, you know, it's optimal. But the optimal range is actually 90 or 80. So if you ever gonna get tested your vitamin D, for you to be super healthy and functioning well and everything, it should be around 80 or 90. And, you know, and again, all of this surprised me when I was starting, you know, getting into it. So I just kind of want to share my knowledge. It might help someone, it might not. Again, this video is not probably, if you're healthy and you never get tested and you think you're fine, you know, that's fine. It's almost for those who are like, you know, again, like when I started having an issue, I started to researching this. I wish I knew this before, so then I could just keep myself always healthy. And then, of course, you have to test your hormones, because your hormones are everything in your body, right? Your thyroid. And I've been testing my thyroid for the last maybe 6 years, when they started first like finding some I don't know how it's called in English, but they started finding some issues in my thyroid, and they told me to get monitored every 6 months. Okay, so it's always been kind of the same. It kind of got worse, a little bit better, worse, a little better. Nothing like serious that I have to take any medication for thyroid or anything, but because I've been exposed to so much stress in my life, I actually have, you know, an issue, but it's been monitored, so nothing serious. And then last year when I got checked, they told me that it got worse. So they told me, I think I did a video about this because I got upset. I actually remember that date because I called my friend, my best friend at the time. I was in a car and they told me that I have Hoshimitos, an autoimmune disease that is in a very early stage, and that my body is attacking my own cells because that hormone that is produced in my body, now my body is recognizing it as a foreign object, so it's attacking it. So it's basically my own cells are attacking my own cells, and eventually they destroy your thyroid. And once that happens, you have to obviously take medication to replace the thyroid that doesn't work anymore. And then you're more likely to develop more autoimmune illnesses, which are very serious. And then, you know, hair falls out, everything basically goes to poop. So obviously initially I got really upset, and of course the doctors told me that it's not curable, you can't heal it, whatever. I went to 3 different doctors because, you know, I just didn't really believe that it's really that serious, you know, but then they all kind of confirmed it, that it's not that serious, but it's forever, you're never going to get rid of it, your body's attacking you now, and it's just going to get worse. So the marker that I had, right, was 108. It's very beginning. Some people have thousands, but that's when it's like really serious. It's too late. Like, not too late, but as in like it's bad. You might have to take medication then. At my level, so you're supposed to have under 32, okay? The marker under 32, that means, you know, you're fine. Mine was 108, which is of course 3 times more. And that was like already gave me a diagnosis. And of course they checked ultrasound my thyroid, and they said, you know, that I don't know how you call them, like holes are growing bigger. They call them uzli. Anyway, so I was like really determined to get better, and that's why obviously I went to a carnivore diet, not only because I had issues with my gut, but because I was like, bloody hell, like I'm also now developing an autoimmune illness. Like, what is going on? Like, obviously all this stressful life that I've had in my 34 years, it's just not been kind to me. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I got all my tests back today, and I've been analyzing. I'm still going to go to the doctors, but I've just kind of, you know, I'm starting to understand more or less what's going on. So I've just been analyzing everything. Like, all of my hormones became better. Like, all of the, you know, T3, T4, THC, TSH, sorry, spelling, all of them lowered, which is really good. And again, a lot of the issues happen from hormones. And guess what has happened? That hormone that was attacking my body not only decreased, it's now below the range, like it's 12. It went from 108 to 12. So I'm under 30, whatever, 35, 32. So I'm in a healthy, really, really healthy range where my cells are not attacking my immune system anymore. And this is crazy to me, right? And I think I healed by doing the obviously carnivore diet, and also by just changing my mindset. I've been, you know, kind of not every day, but I've been telling myself that I'm healing, I'm healthy, I'm healing. I've also went to do the meditation retreat, you know, with Joe Dispenza for a week. And I think there I was focusing on healing my body. But the blood work obviously is not lying. I might have to redo it just to be sure, because I'm like, what the hell? How did this happen? But this means that my body's not attacking my cells anymore. So my Hoshimitos or whatever is not going to progress anymore right now. Of course, it can always come back. I think how it works is if you get stressed again, it's like a cold that obviously is going to live with you forever. But I actually now believe that I can heal fully. So when I did the ultrasound, she said there were no changes in my ultrasound. Like, she said it became a little bit smaller actually, because now I have something to compare. You know, it's so weird. Like, it looks, I don't know how to say. It's like ultrasound. I'm not having a baby, don't worry. It's for my neck. She said it's not as deep anymore. So I genuinely believe that I'm on a remission and I'm healing. So I'm gonna carry on with carnivore. Not only that, like all my vitamins, like vitamin B12, folic acid, all of them have become better. Like all of my results are better. The only thing that's not better, and that one thing that concerns me, and I don't know too much about it, I've Googled this already. It's called ESR. So it's called erythrocyte. Oh my god, I can't spell it. Erythrocyte sedimentation rate, ESR. And basically it's a marker. So it's saying here that it's a type of blood test that measures how quickly these erythrocytes, red blood cells, basically settle at the bottom of a test tube that contains a blood sample. And normally red blood cells settles relatively slowly. A faster than normal rate might indicate inflammation in the body. Surprise, surprise, I'm inflamed. My stomach has been inflamed for 2 years, and that has actually it's high, it's gone up. Okay, and I'm not sure if it's like related or not to what's been happening, but I think like my inflammation in my body, it started 2 years ago and I still haven't resolved it. So obviously it's getting worse. It's logical, right? So that kind of concerns me. And my ferritin level I've been eating so good that my ferritin level is really high now. So yeah, so that's kind of basically an indication that I have inflammation in my body. And I do feel it, like, you know, my colon is inflamed, but I've done more tests now. So I've done a repeated test of CT scan. So I'm gonna get results next week, and I'm checking my heart. As you remember, like a year ago, I was supposed that I had like water around my heart, which seemed very serious. And I just don't know, for some reason, I feel like it's gone now. Like I'm definitely healthier. Like, and I think I need to celebrate the fact that yes, I'm not fully healed. I'm not there, but like I'm so much better than last year, and actually makes me happy because I've been really down recently, and now I'm just thinking, you know what, like I'm actually healing. Like results are amazing. Yes, it's not where I want to be, and I still have inflammation, but everything else became so much better. So yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to share in case this was useful for anyone. And I know so many of you going through the bloating and inflammation and stuff, and I just, yeah, make sure you do the inflammation test as well. Another thing that surprised me as well is that I did the insulin test on an empty stomach. And if anyone knows anything about insulin, do message me. I'm going to Google it as well. But my insulin is showing like 8.3. The range is saying from 3 to 25, but when I, you know, listening to nutritionists and like speaking to professionals, they say actually it should be around 3 to 4. So mine is still pretty high. I know it's not like super high, but 8 is high. So I don't really know how to reduce my insulin, because, you know, that's not good. Because if you have a high insulin, by the way, if you don't know, the higher the insulin, the more risk of you developing diabetes. Now, all of these things, that's why I mean, blood work is amazing, because it basically is an indicator. It's your diary to preview where your body can go if you don't take or make some changes right now. And this is like what's wrong, I guess, in a doctor's industry. You know, they don't really have time to sit down with you and discuss like your results and tell you what you can do to become better. They just look at the range, and if it's fine, unless you're dying and something serious already developed, they're just gonna tell you you're okay. So we really need to start educating ourselves more, reading into this, looking into this, maybe looking at other professionals who can, you know, nutritionists or whatever. But again, you have to pick the right ones. There's so much, you know, so many by the book, which not a wrong thing, but what I mean is that they will not really look into it, and they will follow exactly the same thing what the doctors are saying. You really want someone like a naturopathical doctor, functional medicine doctor, somebody who is open to the, you know, modern scientific methods, plus also understanding the root cause, understanding the whole body. Only that way you can actually heal yourself, because by just shoving yourself with more tablets and things that are gonna heal you right now, you're just gonna develop other issues. Okay, we're just plastering over rather than fixing the issue. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm still trying to dig in, like, what's the issue. I'm not really thrilled that my inflammation markers have gone up. That's the only negative thing. So I'm gonna see like what I can do and like what other tests I can do, because, you know, it can be serious. It can be signs of any other serious illnesses, but I generally think it's just inflammation in my gut and in my stomach. And probably it's going to take me a lot longer than 6 months or, you know, to heal. But I'm on the way, okay? So yeah, anyway, kind of like a positive video, I thought, today with the results that I got. Hopefully that will inspire you to go and do your blood work. Leave me comments, let me know if you know your markers. I'm just such a geek right now. Like, I read all my grandma's, my granddad's indicators, like go and do more tests. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Anyway, lots of love. Bye.